Hey guys, Lavoie here. We're gonna start our first painting workshop. We'll see how it goes. I got a little kinks to work out. I'm not really a YouTuber, but I'm kind of excited about trying this. I'm gonna say a lot. So I'm gonna do a little test run with this one here, okay? So I'm going to rip the page out. See, if you look, it's made with canvas. See those strands come off? Isn't that neat? This is really cool, I have to admit. What I used to do is buy big sheets of canvas and cut them up into little squares. But for $2, you can get like 10 little canvases. Really good deal. Okay, so I'm just gonna have my canvas taped on my easel like so. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. You gotta look at this like an exercise. You know, before you run the marathon, you kind of exercise, you loosen up a little bit. So that's what this is. Now what I've done with I'll show you. So I got just a normal dirty old paint tray that you get at Walls Have Eyes. And then I have, what I did is I put blue, yellow, and red, and that's it. And then I have some white and some black. Okay, that's it for color. Now, we're gonna get into some color theory in a bit, but I want us to get started and feel like, hey, I did my first painting. So the first painting we're gonna do it's gonna be like a red ball. So I'm gonna go a red ball. So just do a circle. Do a circle and fill it in. Add a little water to your brush. Now some of you guys that aren't used to paint, just apply the paint and have a paper towel nearby so you can wipe your brush. So you can always wipe your brush off like this, and then you can pick up some of the paint there. So here we go. All right, now if you've done that, try to fill your page as much as you can. Think of it as a big red dot in the middle. Then we're going to turn it into more of a sphere. So to give it some volume, to give it more of a 3D look, I'm gonna take a little bit of black here. I'm gonna apply it to the left side of my ball, like that. Now I got too much black going on there. I want it to look more red. So I'm gonna clean my brush off, and I'm gonna apply more red over top of the black. Now it should all still be wet. So if you start to blend it, see, it's dark. Now I'm gonna clean my brush again, and then I'm gonna blend it. Blend it over. Clean my brush off, because what ends up happening is you pick up some of the black and then you start pulling that black all over the place. So you want to clean your brush off so it starts to blend in with your red. You might want to add a little more red to it, and then just kind of blend that red into the black so you get this nice spherical look like that. Okay. Blend a little bit more. The more you blend, this is a good exercise to see how much blending is enough. So there we got my sphere. Now, take a little bit of the white. So I take the white here, I just take it right off the brush and I just put it on. All right, there's no right or wrong way. This is an exercise. If you wreck it, you've done your exercise right. If it's too safe, if it just looks too perfect. Okay, so I'm adding white just on the one side. Now I don't want to get too much white on the black. So then I'm blending that into the red a little bit, like that. So that gives me that spherical look. Now if you want your ball to feel like it's sitting on a surface, you just have to take a little bit of the darker color. Like I'm just gonna take some of this black here, just by putting it there. It feels like it's a ball sitting on the table. Okay, so the second part of our exercise is now I want you to paint the background. Just have a little bit of fun, play with color, see what happens. I'm gonna just put some blue and go back with red. It should make more of a purpley color. Purple's a hard color to make. I'm gonna grab some white and I'm just gonna swirl it around. Sometimes when you overpaint your picture, it looks too smooth and too perfect. So I like that marbly look. That marbly look you get with paint. Now I'm going to show you what I mean. So I got a little bit of blue and a little bit of white, and just by going like this, you get this kind of marbly texture. A little more blue on there. That's where the paint kind of mixes on your paper. Okay, so one of the things I'm trained as a painter, so I can paint, and the painting is just supplies me a ability to do my craft, which is I'm an illustrator. So I'm trying to tell a story, and I use my craft, which is painting. So I focus less on painting and more on story. But every now and then I have to sharpen my chops by just doing some painting for fun, just to remind myself of all the different things the paint can do. And then often what that can do is I can apply that to my craft, which is illustrating. So let's just do this. And that blue actually goes really good with this red. They're two primary colors. Now in this painting, I've avoided putting any yellow in it. But just as a little sweet spot, I'm going to put a little white, just a little bit of yellow, just to remind myself. This is just going to be a nice little feature, is this little yellow bit that's in with the blue, kind of turning it green a bit. Looks too creamy. Sometimes you want your paints to look a little more painted. You want to be able to see vibrant colors. You don't want to cream out your colors by adding white. All right, and I'll show you just one more little tip. If you want to make your ball look like it's made of glass, nice white right there. Just kind of makes it look more like a marble. And what you can do is you can add a little red right there, like a little backlight. Just a little more red. All right. So there's our first exercise. It's just doing the ball. I mean, I took any art classes or schooling. This is what they made you do a lot of, is paint a lot of little shapes and circles and triangles and whatnot. Okay, so we are going to do another exercise after this. Hey guys. All right, so we are going to paint a triangle. And once again, I want to go over my colors with you. So this is my paint tray, and all I have is yellow and red and blue. All right. Now there's more to color than just yellow, red, and blue. It could be cadmium yellow, could be crimson red. Who knows? But as far as today goes, because we want to keep it really basic, we're going to slowly advance this this painting workshop into more advanced painting. But for now, we're going to try to keep it very simple. And what we're going to do now is we're going to paint a triangle. I'm going to go for a yellow triangle. All right, so let's just go with the shape, a yellow shape. There's my triangle. All right, and just like the circle that we did, we are going to make the triangle into a cone. Okay, so like a cone. So here, what you want to do to make it look like a cone is just round this bottom portion here. Just by rounding that, it'll look more like a cone shape. Okay, see that? So we round that off on the bottom. And once again, take a little bit of darker color like black. What you could do is take black and a little bit of red. Red seems to be a nice color to darken the yellow, because what it does, it turns the yellow into more of an orangey color. Let's go like that. And while everything's wet, let's just start to blend away from that black. Okay, so let's just keep blending that. Blend. Okay, so there we go. Just a nice cone shape. All right, there we go. If you make it orange, it'll look like those pylons, those pylon cones for traffic. Let's just keep going like that a little bit more. Now, like we did with the ball, we're gonna put a little white on the other side just to kind of give it a little bit of a highlight. So it feels like the light's shining this way. So here's your cone, and the light's shining this way. And so this side of the cone is highlight. See, like even my fingers look highlighted there. There we go. Let's just keep going around. You can even put little lines like this. Like maybe there's texture on this cone. Put a little line right around like that. These little lines indicate a shape to it too. So just by bringing some, there we go. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of little highlight up here, just like boop, boop. Maybe this is a plastic cone, who knows? Okay, now, remember like we did on the last one, we added a background color. So I'm gonna use blue once again, just fill in my background with blue. And I'm gonna use a little bit of yellow, so we'll kind of taint it a little bit green there. Just keep, while everything's wet, just keep moving that paint around. Like, remember like I was saying, that marbly color just adds a lot to it. Now remember, this is just our exercise. This isn't, this isn't a painting you're gonna sit there and hang in your wall or give away. It takes a certain amount of time to develop the skills of being an artist and a painter. So a couple of exercises, then you get ready for a nice painting that you feel proud to hang in your room or give away as a gift. So there. So you got the three primary colors. You got blue and red and yellow. And those are primary colors. And then it turns into a little bit of green color here, which adds a secondary color. I might just add a little bit of red just on this line here. So there we go. Got our cone. Okay. Now, do we feel ready for our good painting? So the good painting, we are going to try to combine the two little exercise paintings and make a good painting. All right, so we're going to try to stick with those three basic colors for now and see how many colors we can actually make from it. Okay, so to create our ice cream cone, we're going to use the cone shape and the circle shape. And so hopefully we'll be able to create this thing. All right, so I'm going to go back with my yellow. And I want you to just kind of put a line there, like you're halfway. This is the halfway. Now, I paint with, I don't sit there with a pencil and draw it out. I sometimes do, but in this case, just jump in with your paint and draw with your paint. It's easier to fix mistakes than to use a pencil. A pencil can actually make your work a little bit messy sometimes. So I'm gonna start here. This will be my circle for the bottom of my circle. And I'm gonna have my cone come down like that. This will be my cone. So maybe go right down to almost the bottom of the page. And just fill it right in. Fill it right in with yellow. Now, yellow is pretty opaque. See this line right here? It's showing through, which is fine. My canvas is a little bit messy. And don't feel bad. Don't feel like you always need a clean canvas to work off. Sometimes a little bit of marks on it can work into your painting and look kind of nice. Now what I've done is I've mixed up a little bit of red in with my yellow and just touched it a little bit with blue. And by doing that, you get this kind of it's almost like a brown color, a little bit browny. And we're gonna paint one side of the cone, that brown color. I'm painting at an angle, like I'm trying to think of a waffle cone, one of those waffle cones. And I'm just gonna see what happens. Now, one of the things when I paint, I paint from memory and I paint from reference. So I don't paint like Bob Ross. Bob Ross has a formula, starts with Formula 1, and then he puts layers on top of layers on top of layers. And if you follow his formula, you can make those paintings. This is more like you're looking with your eye. You're trying to see what it looks like. That's gonna look good. Let that dry a little bit. Now, I'm gonna take a little bit more blue into my brown. Not much, just a little bit, and a little bit of white. Now I want the circle on this thing to be almost gray. I'm just gonna keep going with white on top of my gray. See, it's a bit of a green gray. It's a warm gray. So just keep add white on there. Okay, so here's my circle. Now, taking a little bit more blue, touching a little bit of red with it. I'm gonna have to set up a third camera so you can see the mixing. So here we go. So this is the color I want. I want this gray. I want my ice cream to be gray. Okay, but you want it very light. You can't go wrong. With it, the lighter it is, probably the better. It's gonna look like vanilla ice cream. So this gray is too dark. So I'm gonna keep adding white onto my gray. Now, see the shadows on this side? The same shadow that's on the cone. The shadow on this side. So think of all the shadows on the left. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit more white up here. All right. Okay, so white doesn't really show up good with a white background. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint our background a darker color so it really sticks out nice. Now I'm gonna make my ice cream ooze over my cone now. See, just pull it down, just pull it down. You don't have to do a lot of work. Now my yellow is still wet a bit, so it's pulled into the color a little bit. It seems like it's melting there a bit. Okay. All right. Okay, add some more white on here. Okay, so now where do you go from here? That's the next question. Okay, to make it look like a yummy ice cream, I'm gonna take my brown color here. I'm gonna add some black to it. Black's kind of the easiest way. And a little bit more red, so it's more of a... And I'm gonna think of chocolate sauce oozing down from my ice cream. Think of this as the most yummiest ice cream you can get. It's like a Sunday ice cream parfait thing. So this is coming a little too gray for me right now, which is fine. When you look at black or gray, it looks more like licorice. Okay, so now that's fine. That's all good. I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to panic with that color. The reason is because there's lots of white that's still hot, and what I mean by hot is it's still wet. Okay. All right, we'll just let that kind of sit there and all right. It's like being an ice cream maker. Okay. I don't know how much drips you want your fudge to be running down. I'm gonna make one drip go all the way from here down. It goes down and it goes around. You gotta follow the contour of your ice cream like that. See that? then we're going to make this one go do the same thing. Maybe there's a little bit of a it's sitting there melting in the sun. So just kind of. All right. Now we're going to put another circle on there. I'll take pure red and imagine there's a cherry on top. So try to keep it to scale. So this is almost to life size of a nice big honkin' ice cream. And so the scale is probably a little bit bigger than normal. So your cherry has to go to the size of that. All right, once again, take a little dark color and put a little shadow on the one side of your cherry. And blend it. Because cherries don't have dark, like, that looked like a black bruise, like a spoiled side. So you want to blend it so it feels like it's part of the red. Like that. Okay. Get some red. Go back again. Just a little bit of white on top like that. No, we don't want to add the highlight yet. So imagine you are going to add a highlight. We're holding off on adding that highlight. Don't want to go too early with your highlight. There. There's my cherry. Now what's going to sell it as a cherry is the stem coming off of it. But we're going to do that almost last. So what I'd like us to do now, while all this is wet, I'd like us to paint our background color. Okay, so once again, there's no blue in this painting, so let's make it kind of let's mix colors together. So let's not be afraid to take a little bit of blue, red, bring it together. I want my background to look marbly again. I want it to look like a painting, because if there's all these brush strokes, if you've ever looked at a Vincent van Gogh painting, it's all rich brush strokes. So you want to add all these strokes like that, like a brush stroke like that. See, if you watch my brush, I twist it a little bit. So we're just going to add some white into it. So there we go. That white there, I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to blend it in too much. You want this to look like a picture of an ice cream cone, but not just a picture, a painting. Like somehow you bought a painting of an ice cream to hang in your house. Or imagine you've been hired by an ice cream company and they want to have these big paintings all over inside their ice cream shop. And they want it to look like big ooey paintings. So that's what these could possibly be. Big ooey paintings for an ice cream store. There. Yeah, I don't like that. It's too much blue for me. I want it to look a little more neutral. So by adding the red, it's going to bring the color of blue out, pull it closer towards a purpley color, but also the purple's a little bit on the muddy side, so it's going to look even better because it'll look almost gray. So let's just keep going like that. Now, adding white into my purpley mixture now. I'll make it look lighter, like a lighter gray, like a cold light gray. And I want it to feel like a painting. So you want to see paint. You want to see paint on your painting. That's a for sure giveaway that it's a painting. As you look and you see the brush strokes in the painting. So have a little fun doing this. I find this the best part. For me, this is the funnest part. Don't take away too much from it looking like a painting though. And look with your eyes at what you're doing. Look at that brush stroke. Try to make it as appealing as possible. So I kind of like the way this is kind of like it's got a little bit of an undertone to it. And I'm just going to add some black right into it a little bit. Just in some corners. Cover up some of these bits. Okay, so this part here kind of bothers me a bit, so I'm going to bring it in a bit. Don't want to bring it in too much without, I don't want it to be obvious that I did that, so I'm going to disguise it a bit, pull these brush strokes. Maybe put a little bit more blue in there, because it is. There. Also squint my eyes when I'm painting. Take out some of the obvious details that. There. Okay. This totally looks like an ice cream cone. Now let's just keep adding a little bit more detail. So I've been using a fairly medium-sized brush. I'm going to move to something a little bit smaller for my details now. Now one thing I want to do is I was thinking of adding more to the cone part, like make it more of a waffle cone. So if you still have more of that darker color, just first of all I'm going to try to bring out a little bit of a shadow underneath this. Okay, so I'm going to go like this for my. I don't know, I'm just going to make some lines and we'll see what it looks like. If it looks like a waffle cone. And you got to go with contours. You can't go straight or else it's not going to look like a cone. So go with little contours like this. I don't want it to look too obvious. This is looking a little too obvious. Let's see if I take a napkin and pat it a little bit. There. It's just subtle enough. And you can darken it. You can darken just the bottom part. Like that. It's too much. Like that. Now I'm going to go some nice, a little bit more yellow, just to give it a golden color. Not yellow enough. Okay. Now it's almost like white. I don't know, maybe that might be good. Maybe sometimes just go for it and see what you think later. Because you can always paint over it if you don't like it, right? Don't like it. Okay, so. Darken the one side even more. Okay, well, don't be afraid to wreck your painting a little bit. Find out your limitations is what I like to call it. Okay. All right. All right, so no, that's not the color. Sometimes you just have to let your painting dry more. And then paint over it a little bit. It's just moving all the color around. Okay, so I'm going to take white And I'm going to get my vanilla ice cream looking more like ice cream. Put a little bit of highlights on these dribbles, just so it feels more like ice cream on it as opposed to just a little bit more shape. Okay. And some of this chocolate, because the chocolate or the chocolate sauce, you want to put real strong highlights on it. Follow it down just a little bit like that. Don't go too far, just go a little bit, just to add that highlight on the chocolate. Just like that. Okay, now for the nice highlight that goes on this cherry. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a red stem, kind of like it's a maraschino cherry. Now this is going to take, you can do two things. You can either scratch it because your paint underneath might be wet, and you can scratch this stem like that. That might be enough. Or you might want to just add the little red put a little bit of white on it, just so it's more of a pink and a red. Start with the little stem there. There, that's all you need. You don't need much. Okay, so some of you guys might want to keep going. Some of you might not want a cherry on top. You might want to make it into a strawberry. Another fun thing is to add like sprinkles if you want on your ice cream. You can just keep adding color on it. You can do it in a way that it just fills it with confetti color, like little bits, like little lines here and there of color. But one thing that does not look yummy in this painting is the cone. So I'm going to work a little more on my cone, clean it up. So the color I think I want is more of an orangey, yellowy, golden color. So I'm going to mix a little red in with my yellow. I'm going to add this oranginess to it. Try and get rid of the darker spots I put on earlier. Take a tissue to clean your brush more often. There, I kind of like how that's looking. Keep adding a bit more like that. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's looking a little bit more. Now because we want it to feel like a cone, it's got the darker side and the lighter side. Keep adding more, lighten it a little bit more. So clean your brush off a little bit more. Okay, I like that. I want it to feel a little bit colder, so what I'm going to do, I think by cooling like lightening up my white, or not my white, my blue. Adding a little lighter color to my blue. I might just kind of cool my picture off, like as if there's a little cool steam coming off of it. Like a permafrost or something, I don't know. I don't know, snow steam. Okay. Actually, I thought I'd have to add more to the chocolate, but the chocolate looks pretty good. If you want, if your chocolate isn't looking quite, if there's something wrong with it, you might want to just add a little shadow to one side of your chocolate, because remember, it's three-dimensional. Just a little bit. I like the drippy feeling, like it actually really dripped down the canvas. Okay, so there's our first painting. Okay, ooh, it's still wet. Okay, so it's done. There it is, the final painting. I hope you enjoyed doing it. Look, it's life size. You can grab it right there. So if you have any questions, there are no dumb questions. Please leave it in the comments down below, and I will answer all your questions. If you have a suggestion of what you'd like to see at our next workshop, let me know. Till then, I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you very much.